Good morning, guys, and welcome to the show. Today we have a special show brought to you from Knowledge Fest 2021 Orlando. Some of you guys have heard about it before. We talk about it often. It's called MECP. Well, today everything changes. You know what? I'm not the expert. Let's talk to the expert. Chris.
Hey, Dean. How are you doing?
Pretty good. How are you?
Good. Thanks. So let's talk MECP.
A lot of the guys know, or kind of know, what it is. I'm not MECP certified, but for a very specific reason we've talked about in the past, and I feel a lot of people feel that way. Let's start at the beginning. How long have you been with MECP?
I've been working with the program since about 1998, so almost 25 years now of experience with it.
So were you the guy that picked the cool cover of the guy laying underneath the dash, like
right?
1950s
No,
car?
I didn't have any part in that.
That wasn't you?
No, it was not.
I still have that book.
Right on.
I think everybody does.
It belongs in a museum now.
It is. It's spectacular. But speaking of books, had basic, advanced, and master, and I think the combined total was 50 pounds.
It seemed like it, yeah, for sure. I mean, they were very thick books. Through the years, even as like an editor and content writer and guy who was very involved with creating all that content for the last 22 years, it was very tough to carry those books around, even as just the guy who was like making sure everything was accurate.
Well, it was like carrying around our version of the Encyclopedia Britannica with you all the
time.
like
Like the old, yellow phone book that you used to have in the 90s or 80s.
Well, yellow
right?
and
So,
white. It was both.
Right. Last year, I had the opportunity to purchase the program from the Consumer Technology Association. Part of my vision for doing that was just to kind of revolutionize where the program needed to be. A couple key features that I really wanted to focus on was accessibility. The phone books are gone. We still have some if like the old school guys that have to read out of a book want one. Now you can access the program and any of the courses from your phone, tablet, computer, anything with an internet connection and an actual browser.
This is where, when we were talking, it got really interesting because I just don't want to carry that book, but I really want to have access to that information. And especially on the consumer side, we've had guys that are like, yeah, I bought the books, man, but I just struggled through it and I never had time and I was on bathroom break and it's like, it's like, oh. This is going to give everybody, no matter who you are or where you live.
Doesn't matter.
Because AVDC in Australia, he just became the first Australian.
We're on 6 continents now with active users and certified technicians and specialists now.
People that speak a different language, it's always been a problem. Like there was one book that was written in Spanish.
Yeah, back in like 2004.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though Fernando speaks excellent English and can read it and all that, he's still comfortable with that. How many languages is this available in now?
32. We use a very high-end version of Google Translate. Anybody in their native language can read most of it. There's still some quirkiness to some of the natural translation. It's not conversational type stuff. At the end of the day, you can access the program, and if you're having difficulty understanding the English side, you can flip it over to your language, maybe get a better understanding, and flip it back if you need to. And that's not only the website for MECP.com, but also all the courses and the exam, any language that you really need. These are things like the accessibility from like making this all digital. Now you can pick up your phone anywhere you are. You've got 10 minutes getting on a plane. Like I travel all the time. I'm on planes all the time. If I need to get certified, then I can pull it up on the Wi-Fi on the plane and actually get through a couple sections of the course and be done, right? You can pick it up, do it anywhere you want. You can take the test anywhere. Back in the old day, it was very cumbersome to try to find the current book that was giant, right? And then try to schedule a test at a Prometric testing center. No offense, Prometric's great for their own thing, but it was such a pain for a tech or a specialist to try to find one and then coordinate, like taking a few hours off the job.
You had to want.
Yeah, it was an effort. We've really kind of just revolutionized the whole thing, made it easy, and it's just super cool.
Now, there's a million things I want to talk about and questions I want to ask you, but I feel at this point we kind of need to go over here and show them some of the basics of this. So this is all brand new. Some of the features we are going to talk about are currently being developed, which means we're going to show you things that are going to expand as time goes on. And one of the features that we're going to talk about is something that you guys often ask us, where can I find an installer? Let's take a look at the basic program.
Kind of relaunched the whole program in February of 2020. 2021. We've actually made a ton of progress in that short time, so everything's good. Fully revamped website. It's very easy to use. Whether you're a professional, an employer, a vehicle owner, whatever it might be, you can kind of select your course of kind of the content that you're looking for on this. We've also added some things to the program, honestly, to make it more legitimate. So back in the old system, for almost 30 years of its existence, right, there was really no way for a consumer to really kind of tell if you were actually certified. We even had people that claimed to be certified that either never had been or had been expired. People didn't realize you had to kind of recertify and all that stuff. They just kind of figured it. Yeah, exactly. What we did was one of the biggest features, we added a verification tool. This is actually pretty slick. You can look up anybody you want. We'll just go ahead and pull mine up to see if I'm certified. I better be.
Bulla rocks.
That's right. There you go. It shows that I'm here. I exist. Here's my ID numbers in case anybody wants to verify. And there are my current certifications under this program.
Surprising you have all of them.
Weird, yeah?
That's odd. I wouldn't have expected that.
Yep. The cooler part is like me as a professional in this industry, I've got a profile tab. Same data, but in a little bit more expanded thing. If I'm a technician or a specialist and I want to show a customer that I'm certified, this is mobile friendly. So on your phone, it would show your certifications right in front of them to show the legitimacy of it.
This is the drop your mic page.
That's it. That is like, here's what I am. Boom. Two very valuable things. So the employer who's interviewing somebody can check on the spot. Back in the day, it was a cumbersome 2 or 3 day process to like reach out to the old MECP program, find out if they were certified, wait for the response. It was like it added a couple days to that hiring process. Now they can check right there. And the tech or the specialist can be like, here it is. It's up to date. You can see it all right there. The other cool thing is if you're looking for a job, we do have a career center here where we list under the professionals tab, we list career opportunities. And we've got companies as big as Nikola Motors out in Phoenix, Arizona, that electric car companies looking for MECP certified technicians to bring into their vehicle validation testing, for instance. As you advance through your certification process through the different levels, you will have access to more and more of these things. So it's actually a really cool process.
Now, what if you're a store owner? Can they reach out to you and get their name listed here?
On the supporters tab, we actually show all of our supporters here. These are manufacturers, organizations like the MEA that's putting this on, and then retailers, of course, throughout the country. The Consumer Technology Association housed the MECP program for the entire existence of it until this year. They're a huge supporter and still obviously validate the whole certification process. We just now partnered up with Vision Zero Automotive Network that is focused on the ADAS products, the safety stuff out there.
One of the things that a lot of the manufacturers try to do, of course, is do trainings with us.
Sure.
Opening it up to somebody outside of MECP to come to you and say, hey, can you help us with our validation
it's
program?
The first third-party kind of certification program that we've done.
That to me was super excited. Yep. Companies that make interfacing, have very complicated products, are going to be able to reach out to you now, or or MECP, and be like, hey, can we put together a program about interfacing our cars and the things that our installers are going to need to know, and that way it will be able to help validate. Like when I call tech support and they can say, who is this? And they can immediately pull up your profile and see if you've taken the exam or at least read the page about how to do things. The future of this, to me, was super excited. And I was like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, I have calls to make.
Well, and actually we have great partners. Sony, their entire team is MECP certified, and they do that because they want to make sure that their reps and their specialists on their internal team are able to speak fluently about the technology and of course help with troubleshooting system issues, things like that a technician might face out in the field. AMP Global is a huge supporter, along with Vox International as well, that you have priority access to a different level of tech support if you're certified. That right there is worth its weight in gold, right? Now you don't have to wait in the long line of 30 people in front of you. If you're certified, you can bunk right in and get in there.
Could you imagine if you guys had like an AMP Pro category of tests where it was just like, here are the things. I mean, I know people.
Maybe that's good. I don't know.
That would be. Slow down, man. Slow down.
Like I said, this is what got me super.
He's trying to get a job.
Yeah. Okay. You gotta get a certification first.
He's got to be certified. We only hire certified people.
You know.
So let's talk about courses. People who maybe are interested in getting into this industry industry or this category of,
or anyone in general. And that was the nice thing. This opens it up that anybody that wants to expand their knowledge about the 12-volt industry, anyone can take this. Before we go over the class course, which to me is like the purpose, how much does it cost?
There's kind of two trajectories. One is like the sales and like front of house side for the customer interaction, things like that. That's the product specialist side. And then you have the technician side. So that's actually physically working on the cars, installing the product, right?
Not that you can't do both.
Right, of course. In fact, I recommend it. I mean, if you've got, especially in a lot of shops, you have a dual role or multiple dual role people.
We have no idea what that is.
Yeah, exactly. It's a huge benefit to have both of those. Once you kind of get into that trajectory, you get to kind of choose your course, and the apprentice level and that product specialist are both $99 a year. And then you renew every year for either $59 or $69 respectively. What that does is that renewal fee, it guarantees that the system's always up to date. You get to recertify and just kind of brush up on anything that's been changed or added throughout that previous year.
So we're talking like really, $8 a month?
Yeah, I mean, come on, it's totally worth it. It's very easy to get into. As a shop owner, if you're interested in getting your staff certified, there's an easy way to go on here and buy like coupon codes to get your techs so they don't have to put their payment information in. You can pay for it as a company and get that all taken care of.
Let's take a look at the test itself.
As we mentioned, there's kind of two different trajectories. We'll take you through and kind of show you that Vision Zero one that we mentioned earlier that's kind of focused on ADAS product, which is advanced driver assistance systems for all the sensors and camera and backup safety technology. That's kind of a supplement to these other certifications. MECP Apprentice, which is kind of the starter level of the tech side. What you'll do is you'll go in here, you'll enroll if you're not already enrolled, you'll create the account, and then you'll get to go in, jump into the content. This is all online. It's very easy to use. You can change the language on this as well, as I mentioned earlier. You actually kind of just go through each section and go through all of the different things that you got to do. Some of these are true false. It's more informational, just like, yeah, I've read it, I get it, let's move on.
Each section or page that you read or section that you read has questions.
Yeah, that's correct.
Previously you would just turn pages and try to memorize stuff.
So two things we did. The older books, we had a third party kind of do a readability and comprehension study, and it was like a 28%, just horrible. And there's a lot of technical stuff, so there's a little bit of expectation of that. The problem is with a score that low, you don't know that the people are actually getting the data you're trying to give to them. With all the rewrite of all the content, we're at a 98 plus on everything now. The readability and all that stuff is very good. Part of the reason for that is we've broken things up into kind of like bite-sized morsels of information. That's kind of the key point in this. If you want to start talking about installation knowledge and technique, you just expand this, you go to tools, and it brings you up a page that kind of goes through the list of tools that you should have as that beginner tech, some pictures, images, and stuff.
And you can find those tools at dnftooldrawer.com.
There you go. Appropriate product plug, right? So there you go. This is kind of informational, so you just click true and it's like, great job, let's move on. You keep moving on. As you go through this stuff, it will ask you different questions, kind of bring you through this. You'll notice there's a ton of different sections here. Once you've kind of gone through and kind of learned everything, kind of gone through the questions and kind of brushed up on everything, at the end there's the exam. This is where the money happens. This is the money shot on the whole
This is where you get your actual certification.
Yeah, come down here and you would take the exam. Of course, I've passed, right? Because I have to go through these and just kind of test everything out, right?
You only got a 97%?
Yeah, I have to make sure that I get one wrong, just to make sure it registers, right?
Make sure, he says.
Here's the cool part. It tells you instantly that you passed or not. Kind of a clunky procedure before. You can actually retake it to try to get a better score if you want. So you have 3 tries in your initial purchase. So if you fail 3 times, you should be working a little harder on trying to study the content. A little email button pops up and says, hey, do you want to reset your 3 tries? And that's $30 because there's a lot of processing that we do on the back end. Every time you take the exam, there's a ton of systems in the background that are kind of updating everything else. Once you pass, it updates our database on the back end. And within about 3 or 4 minutes, your certificate will be in your profile page.
You said certification, and we all know how much people like patches and plaques and all that stuff. Do you provide an actual certification?
We don't send a paper certificate anymore. Everything's online. If you want to display one in your shop, you can have one professionally printed. We can order that on our website. There's a CSTC store, and you can order a printed certificate there, or one for all of your certificates if you've got a bunch of them. You can actually print it yourself. So that PDF that I pulled up of my certificate here, this is print quality, 600 DPI, so you can print it yourself or take it to your local FedEx, Kinko's, and have it printed yourself. No problem at all.
Perfect.
So you're in charge of that.
Now, what about patches?
We don't do patches for the new stuff. We'll give you the file, and you can have it digitized with whoever you're getting your embroidery done with. Keep in mind, we do have the old like phone book study guides still available through our online store, and we we do have the old patches. If you were previously certified in the old system and you want that legacy patch, all of those marks are still valid. Finally, we kind of have the locator tool. This is just launched, so we're just kind of building the database with all the store locations and stuff right now. That's actually up to the technicians and the store owners to do. The owner can go in and make an account for a location if he's got technicians, and even if he's not certified, doesn't matter. You can put your location in there. And then the technicians and specialists, once they're certified, they can request a link to that location, and there's a two-way street. The owner and the tech are in control of that relationship, so either one can break that or have it applied at any time. We'll pull up Divine Concepts. Adam Devine's a huge supporter of the program, and all of his people at his store are certified. This shows you a picture of the store, all the pertinent contact information here on the screen. It's got his logo, so you know you're at the right place.
Have we missed anything? I mean, it's so much.
There's a lot going on. I'm sure we've missed something,
and it's okay.
And we'll think about it right after we do this.
Obvious question would be, where do they go?
MECP.com. Everything that you've seen here is available through MECP.com. Very easy to access, and like I said, from any device, no problem, any browser.
This is an ever-evolving page because, like we said, this just started in February.
That's right.
Currently, we're filming here in June. You've managed to do quite a bit in a very short period of time.
Sure.
Not all the tests are currently up, so we have Apprentice right now. By the end of this year, everything will be...
Oh, within 4 to 6 weeks, we'll have our Skilled, which is the 2nd level technician, and then the Expert, which is the 3rd level technician up.
We're gonna end it there. Thank you, Kris, so much for taking the time out of your super busy schedule this weekend. If you guys are interested, head over to MECP.com, register, look around. If you're looking for an installer, that section is always gonna get better. And hey, that's it. Fernando.
On to the next one, guys.
You guys have a great night as always. We'll see you later next time.
Thank you.
Bye.
Ooh, let's flip the door closed.